Hello, welcome to this new videocast about MySQL InnoDB Cluster on OCI. So last time in the previous video we installed Drupal on OCI with MySQL 8 as backend, and today we're gonna add HA to this setup. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna connect and we're gonna check if we're gonna configure our MySQL instance to be part of a cluster. So let's check. And as you can see here, it says, you are using root and we need to create a user maybe. So we're gonna use to create a dedicated user for administrate our cluster, and the account name it's cluster admin, and I give a password. It's very important to remember that password, and that password will be used everywhere on all three instances the same. So here you can see the configuration needs to be changed and a restart needs to be done of the MySQLD. So we're gonna say yes and yes. So it will reconfigure everything. I don't modify any configuration myself. We can see that the Drupal website is still working because the restart is very fast, in fact. So let's have a look. So yeah, we also need to, we're gonna open the firewall for group replication and for the X protocol, because using the shell X protocol is much easier. So these are the settings. Don't forget to reload the firewall when you have added to that. So, and we also configure SE Linux for the port we need. So now we can connect again with the new user we created, so the cluster admin. So we connect on a MySQL, MySQL 1 with cluster admin, and we can first verify the configuration. After the restart, the configuration is correct, but let's verify this. And it says okay, so the status is good, the configuration is right. So now we can create, so we're gonna create the cluster. So I will make a variable called cluster, and this object will have the value of a db create cluster, and I give a name. So the name, it's my cluster on OCI. So it connects, it creates, and here we are, our cluster. It's created. We can have a look. We use cluster status and we can see that we have a cluster. Of course, we are not tolerant to any failure. If that node crash, we don't have database anymore, of course, because it's only a single node. So now on the Drupal compute instance, we're gonna install the MySQL 8 community repository to be able to install the MySQL router. So this is what I do here. I'm using yum. So this is our Oracle Linux, right? So MySQL router will be installed, 8.0.19, the latest again, like the same version of MySQL server we've installed on our MySQL servers instances. So now the router is there. Let's have a look here to check. We also need to allow connections to it. So let's have a look in the private subnet. As you can see, 3306 is allowed, so we can connect to the MySQL standard protocol. But we will allow also the connection to the X protocol, and also when we're gonna add extra instances, we're gonna allow connection between the nodes for group replication. So 33060 is the X protocol, and as we are here, let's already do it, even if you don't have the new instances right now. So same subnet, and the port it's 33061. For MySQL group replication. So we add the this rule too. So no, this is perfect. So we have the standard protocol, the X protocol, and group application is allowed to communicate. So now we're gonna bootstrap the router, and we use the MySQL MySQL 01 IP to bootstrap the router, because the Drupal, we're gonna connect Drupal to the router that is installed, of course, on Drupal too, right? So here are the ports. The router opens 4 ports for read-writes, for X protocol and for classic protocol, and read-only for classic protocol and X protocol. So we're going to use the read-write for the classic protocol for Drupal. So we start the router, we enable router, and now we will modify the configuration of Drupal to connect through that port. So in the configuration file, let's have a look here, and we will connect not to the MySQL server anymore, but to the router directly using the port that the router uses. Here we go. We can have a look, and we see an error here. So it means that Drupal is not able to connect to the database server. And I can see here we have the audit log from SLinux. So what we need to do, we also need, so we can connect HTTP to the database, but we need to tell SLinux that the new port is also part of the database of MySQL. So this is what we need to do right now. So we need to add the ports 6446 and 6447 to SLinux. So we are now able to connect. So we can see now the standard port for the MySQL standard protocol are open on the router, and now Drupal, it's connecting through the router through to our cluster, which is made only from one single node right now. So now it's time to create the 2 other nodes. So we're going to use again compute instances to create this 2 extra members of our cluster to really achieve HA. So one, we're going to put it, MySQL 02, also Oracle Linux, we're going to leave it on the same availability domain. This is up to you to change the availability domain if you want. I use the private subnet. I had the key like usual, right? And now let's load it. We go while it's provisioning. We're gonna create the MySQL 03. So MySQL 03 as a name. We're gonna use the same Oracle Linux 7.7 image, but we use this time another availability domain. So I use 82 private subnet, so no public IP to it, and again the same SSH key. Here we are, and now this compute instance is also provisioning. So MySQL 2 and MySQL 3, we are still in the way to provision. We can see that MySQL 02 now it's provision. Let's see the IP. So 10.01.3. So we're gonna update the etc host of the Drupal machine with all the names and the IP. It's much convenient and easier, because remember we're gonna use also that machine to jump in SSH to connect with the other ones. So here I will use my MySQL 02, and I will also do my MySQL 03. So it's here. The IP should be yes. It's following. So 10.01.4. And here we are. We can save etc hosts. So now let's connect to these two new compute instances, because we need to install MySQL, of course. So we connect to the Drupal machine. Don't forget the -8 to forward the agent. And now we can connect to my MySQL 02 and my MySQL 03. Here we are. Yes. Perfect. So the next step, it's exactly what we did already on the other in the previous video. We're gonna install MySQL, the repository for the MySQL server, and then we're gonna install MySQL server. So here I installed the repository, I installed the community server on both MySQL 2 and MySQL 3. Take some time. Won't be too long. So, or it's download. Now it's installing. Perfect. So we're gonna also install the shell because currently we have only, when we start MySQL, we have only one user root that is able to connect to localhost only. So we're gonna create, we need the shell to create the MySQL admin user we use everywhere. We can create it manually, or we can ask the shell to create it for us when we will configure the instances. And this is the second option that I choose. So we start MySQL after installing MySQL shell. So we start MySQL on both instances at the same time in parallel. Okay, so we now need to find the password, because as you know, MySQL by default is secure and create a temporary password for the root account. So this is the one on MySQL 2, and we need to do the same on MySQL 3 also to get to find that password. So now we connect using the shell. We connect in SQL with the user root at localhost, and the password we just get from grep command. So here it is. And we can save, we don't save it because it's the temporary one, and we need to change it. So I will use set password to change that. Now I do the same on my MySQL 03. So I use MySQL shell in SQL mode using root at a localhost, and I will use the password I found that has been generated by MySQL when we started. So here again we change the password with the set password command, and here we are. Now we will connect to the shell again using the new password. The password we created, and we can save it this time. And now we are in a JavaScript mode, and we will use DBA configure instance, and we're going to configure our instance. But we always need to use root at localhost because currently we have only that account, and we use this command to create the new admin account. So it has to be exactly the same as we did in MySQL 01. So It is very important because if not, it won't work. And we put the password here. So it says, oh, I need to modify my CNF, the configuration at least, because it will use set persist. So my CNF won't be touched, but it needs to change it and restart. We said yes, and we do exactly the same on my MySQL 03. So we configure an instance that it's on localhost because we are on my MySQL 03. We provide the password we added ourselves, and we can save it this time again, and we create again a new admin user for InnoDB cluster, and it's cluster admin with the same password again. So again it says, oh, the configuration of MySQL needs to be changed. Do we want to change it? Yes. It will start. Then we need to also do all the usual change for the firewall, reload the firewall, change the SE Linux port and everything. I already did it several times, so you can see here on overlay the commands, and don't forget to reload the firewall. And you have also that information on the blog post on lefred.be. So when we did all this command on the 3 servers, now we can now on MySQL, my MySQL 01, we can connect to it again. So we use the cluster admin user. So we are here, and we can add the instance. So now it will say, okay, I want to add my MySQL 02. The shell says, oh, this machine had no data yet. Do you want me to clone the data from my MySQL 01? So all the Drupal data and other, and we say yes. So it used the clone plugin very fast. We don't need to do a backup and restore a backup to start it. All the MySQL does all the provisioning automatically through the shell without us to take care of it. So we can see the status now. We have the 2 nodes already there in our cluster, and now we do exactly the same with my MySQL 03. We also clone, so it gets all the data from the website we have created, and it's very fast. And as you can see, the clone operation is very easy. And it will start, and it will join the cluster. And in a few moments we have 3 nodes on our cluster without any issue. So let's verify cluster status, and you can see we have my MySQL 1, my MySQL 2, my MySQL 3, and this time we have a full HA because we can tolerate up to 1 failure if something happens to one of our database server. So we can see here the Drupal is responding as it was very easily, no problem. So my MySQL 01 is the primary instance, the one getting all the writes and the connection from Drupal, and now we're just gonna stop it. So I stop the machine directly, and I will if I go back to Drupal instance, we can see that no issues, everything is running as expected. We don't see any problems. Let's verify that the machine was indeed stopped. Yes, it's stopping. And we don't notice anything on the web server because automatically everything has been, the cluster took over all the transaction that it has to do from the Drupal. So we can see here. So of course the SSH connection to my MySQL 01 was being closed because the machine is down. So I will go on my MySQL 02 in the shell, and I will connect. I was disconnected, it will reconnect. Let's connect using the cluster admin because on my MySQL 04, this is not important. it was already okay, but okay, let's connect on my MySQL 02 to be sure. Add the password we changed. Yeah, it wasn't saved here yet. And then we say, okay, get the cluster. So now that we have a cluster object, we can check the status. It takes some time. Why? Because my MySQL 01 was part of the cluster, right? And it's checking about it. He said, oh, are you still there? What's going on? And it checks that. And we can see that we have an error because it was not able to connect to it. And we can see this missing. And 2 and 3 are online and 2 took over. So it was very easy. In 20 minutes, we added HA to Drupal in MySQL on OCI. So it was very easy. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Stay safe. Bye-bye.